What's up YouTube? Capital G here. We got some Summon Skull duels for you guys to check out. Summon Skulls have gotten a lot of monsters revealed lately. They're all based around the different summoning mechanics. They got Synchro, Fusion, Ixie, and Ritual. And you guys are going to see every single one of them, I believe, except the Ritual one. You'll even see the OG Summon Skull in these duels, which is actually kind of nice. Now, when you look at his opening hand, that kind of tells you a little bit about how random this deck is. In fact, what's on the top of his deck? It's another Ortho Scorpio, isn't it? Yeah. Not sure how much continuity there is here. Looks like he's just running a bunch of like good engine cards and somehow trying to get them all to work to summon a bunch of Summon Skull monsters. But this deck's focus is really about summoning those Summon Skull monsters. These are not going to be against competitive decks because, I mean, we're playing fucking Summon Skulls here, so what do you guys expect? First duel is against the DDD deck, and let's go ahead and roll it. I believe that DDD's probably up. No, I think Summon Skulls are up first, so maybe he has a little bit too much of a good thing when it comes to the plant cards, but he's going to get through Ortho Scorpio one way or another. That's actually smart. He drops the Shadow Mist into the graveyard, so that'll get him a search. That's kind of nice. He's going to go for Cherubini, dropping, is it Carbonenon? How do you pronounce the damn thing's name? I know that it summons a monster. I believe you get to banish it. Yeah, there it is. It summons a normal monster. I believe it has to be a dragon monster, right? Yeah, it has to be a normal dragon. He is able to go for Cherubini, and he's able to go for Crystron Needle Fiber. We see some Synchro summoning and some Ixie summoning. Not bad. He was able to drop 2 of the 3 Summon Skulls during his first turn. Now, ending on the Needle Fiber, that's a little cap. I mean, I guess you get a little bit of disruption if you use the TG Wonder Magician, so that's, it's like a MST, I guess, and when it's destroyed by battle, you get the draw card, so it's not terrible, but, what do you guys expect? It's a freaking Summon Skull deck. So, his opponent is going to go off. He's going to start with Siegfried. That is going to be used to link summon. I mean, it's DDD. You can summon your monsters back from the graveyard with no problem. He is going to go for that Wonder Magician play, trying to pop one of those back rows. I believe that the Ragnarok is going to activate, and his opponent is going to be able to get the Siegfried back because he's doing a lot of special summoning, and he's going to go for the Executive Caesar. This is the one that can detach materials anytime your opponent tries to activate a card that special summons. Now, luckily, he was able to use his Summon Skull Ixie monster, and he's able to detach materials to protect the Synchro monster. Now, these guys cannot be targeted by card effects right now. The Synchro monster does that. It basically makes all your Summon Skulls untargetable, so it's nice, but I wonder if he'll be able to get rid of, these big DDD monsters, especially considering he has 3 pieces of disruption, potentially. He is going to get rid of the Hero Libs. No reason to use it because he has, monsters on the field. Glow Bulb also gets negated. Now he is able to finally summon Malicious, and he goes for the blind Borosword Dragon. He says, fuck the Summon Skull shit, Cap. I'm just going Borosword Dragon pass. Unfortunately, he attacks over the DDD monster. That just causes more problems as it summons a DDD monster from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, unless I'm mistaken. And Borosword is fine, but it can be targeted. So obviously, it's not going to be able to stand up to this board, and he swiftly ends up losing the duel. Now, that was a little bit of a Kappa play. Not sure that he had a better play, but it's fine because there is going to be a redemption arc for this duelist. And he opens with, as I told you guys, the original OG Summon Skull. He plays that as well. Gets the Metaphors Fusion in the graveyard. This dude, literally plays everything. Even though he did draw Brilliant Fusion, he does have the potential to search for another one, but he's actually going to search for Metaphors Fusion, which I was like, wait, what is going on here? That's going to be used with the Fable cards. The Fable cards can discard cards from your hand, and you can get it back into your graveyard to draw another card during your next turn. That effect was negated in the last duel, but, now it looks like it should be able to go off. This turn 1 is going to be pretty good. A lot better than its last one. You see Synchro Summon Skull, and then Ixie Summon Skull is going to be dropped, and he's able to go for Borolo Dragon. So this turn was significantly better, in my opinion. He has 3 monsters on the field. None of them can be targeted by card effects, so that's actually, well, I believe Borolo just can't be targeted by monster effects. These dudes can't be targeted by card effects at all, and he still has the, he has the OG Summon Skull who's giving moral support at this point. He's not really going to hit the field. Yeah, he will be used, though, but right now he's pretty much just giving moral support. His opponent attacks thinking that he's going to be able to snatch steal one of the monsters. Unfortunately, as I said, none of them can be targeted by monster effects, so that kind of was, that was unfortunate for him. Has to use Surface so he can get him back, and look who decided to show up. We got the Fusion Summon Skull as well. Now everybody's powered up, and the redemption arc is complete. So congratulations, Summon Skull went 1-1, and I think that that's pretty much as good as you could have expected, to be quite honest. Let's go ahead and pause and look at the deck list. All right, so this is what the deck looks like on paper. It's 44 cards. I won't do too much explaining because we did see the deck in action a couple of times. You guys saw most of the plays. A lot of cards want to be sent to the graveyard. This is a deck that uses its graveyard a lot. That's why you see a lot of plant cards in there. Glow Up Bulb's another card that works from the graveyard, and you know, it's a deck that can use Needle Fiber. I think Cherubini is really what sets up this deck because it gets the Carboneton in the graveyard that can then summon your dragons from the deck, and they're just, you know, they're one of them. Galaxy Serpent is a tuner, so that helps you get to your Summon Skull Synchro monster, and the only one that is not run is the Ritual Summon Skull. It just, you know, rituals in a deck like this would just be a little clunky in my opinion. Even when it comes to like the fusion one, you see he's only running like one copy of Polymerization. Using the original Summon Skull, I guess, what other uses could this legitimately have other than for like fusion summoning, I wonder. I guess if you did run Advanced Ritual Art, you could use it in addition to fusion summoning. I mean, I imagine that's the main thing. Although, maybe if you get your double summon, like your second summon from Seraphonite, you could probably tribute summon for it and beat your opponent down. Summon Skull, you know, beat down like 2002 Yu-Gi-Oh! Format or something like that. But this is just obviously a deck that is to celebrate Summon Skull and to mess around with. I would never consider playing this competitive unless Konami releases, you know, some more broken cards for this archetype.